Hi, my name is Anita Wallace. I'm chair of the Lymphedema Support Network, and I'm delighted to introduce you to someone that I've worked with for, scarily, nearly 20 years. Professor Peter Mortimer. He's the LSN's Chief Medical Advisor and leading lymphedema specialist both here in the UK and overseas. Right, well, this is a very big question, and one that we're obviously asked quite a lot, and something that's very pertinent to so many lymphedema patients. So Peter, why do some people get recurrent cellulitis and others not?
Well, I think the first thing to say is recurrent cellulitis is very common with lymphedema. Why is that? Well, as said earlier, the lymphatic system is an important, very important part of our host defense system to fight against predators or infection. And indeed, infection is probably the greatest threat that a lymphedema patient can suffer because of the risk of that infection leading to sepsis. And I suspect that happens more commonly actually in lymphedema patients than in patients who do not have a problem with their lymphatic system.
Oh, okay.
And the reason that's an assumption because the lymphatic system is meant to contain infection and deal with it without it spilling over into the bloodstream. And if the lymph system's not doing its job properly, it's likely to spill over into the bloodstream, and that's what septicemia is, more easily. Anyway, coming back to the question, recurrent cellulitis is very common. We know that about 50% of patients with lymphedema will get one or more attacks of cellulitis. And the reason for that is because immune cells in the vicinity of the lymphedema swelling are not working properly. They're not getting to the lymph glands as they should to alert other cells to then mobilize and fight the infection. That process goes wrong. So infection can get into a lymphedema limb or lymphedema region. And I say that explain it in saying the infection gets in and the immune cells are not there to fight it. So the infection's laughing its socks off saying, well, yeah, I'm enjoying myself here, you know. And I think the other thing that happens is although infection can settle, it often doesn't completely clear. I say it goes to sleep. And that's because of a failure of the immune cells to really hit it on the head and get rid of it. So when recurrent cellulitis occurs, I believe it's the same infection that's woken up. I don't believe necessarily another infection has got in there. And this is all because the immune cell or the immune surveillance is not good enough. As to why some patients get recurrent cellulitis and others don't is a difficult one to answer. I would say that once you've started with cellulitis, you've had it once, then there's a risk of it going on to recurrent cellulitis because an attack of cellulitis is nasty and it will then damage the lymph system locally a bit more to make the lymphedema worse, which then creates the vicious circle to make infection more likely, which will then damage the lymph system further. So it can go round in circles.
Yeah.
I think that's why if someone gets into that cycle, they're in trouble. And I have a number of patients like that, and it can be very difficult to break that cycle.
Yes. Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you.